Now batting for the Regulators is shortstop, number 7, Luis Morales.
And we want to welcome you into Coxmill High School as we are starting here in the top of the first inning with 2 outs already in the top of the first. I am Zane Metz. Thank you for joining us here on this beautiful Tuesday evening of baseball as we have the Lake Norman Copperheads, the home team, and then the Regulators Baseball Club as that goes in for a strike right there. So we have an 0-1 count. On the mound tonight for the Copperheads is Quinn Bren, as he has made quick work of this Regulators team so far. As that one is down the right field line and fair, and that will sneak in for a single. So the three-hole hitter Luis Morales, the shortstop, will get on base, and that will leave Isaiah Mack, the big 4-hole hitter, up to hit. So lots of firsts tonight for the Copperheads. This is obviously the first home game of the season. First game under new manager Noah Jarrett. Jarrett is the current assistant at Pfeiffer University, 25 years old, so definitely one of the youngest managers you will see anywhere in college baseball. And this is the Copperheads' third coach in 3 years, so hoping to get some stability with Noah Jarrett. As that one will be high and inside for a ball. Copperheads last year 11-15. Ended the year 2-8 though. Lack of pitching depth really hurt them down the stretch, and you can see that in the SCBL playoffs as they just didn't have the pitching depth to contend. That one popped up high and over the big fencing foul. Like I said, Isaiah Mack, the big lefty, up to the plate, and any guy with that size and power, when he gets a hold of one, even with these wooden bats, it can be scary because they can go far. So he gets his sign from Hank Hitchman. That's who's behind the plate tonight for the Copperheads. Looking at the runner at first. And he will deliver. And that one low. So Isaiah Mack giving him a good at-bat right here. First all-time meeting between these two teams is this is the Regulators Baseball Club's first ever time in the SCBL or having a summer collegiate team in general, known for their youth teams and now coming into the collegiate ranks. Here comes the pitch, a nice breaking ball right there, and Max spits on it foul. Got out in front of it, but just held up just enough to get it foul and stay alive in the at-bat as he's just hanging around, waiting for a pitch he really likes to turn on one. The runner, Morales, still at first base. Here comes the pitch, and the runner is going. That one low. Hank Hinchman throws down, and he is out of there. A great throw from Hank Hinchman. And Morales gets caught stealing. So the Copperheads will come into the bottom of the first 0-0, and we'll see what the 1-2-3 combo Will Gray, J.D. Woodall, and Tyler Zadalis can do. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back here to Coxmill High School as we are in the bottom of the first inning in this contest between the Lake Norman Copperheads and Regulators Baseball Club. As we thank you guys for your patience, we got off to a little bit of a rocky start in the top of the first, came in with 2 outs in the inning. So just to recap, the Regulators went down 1-2-3, but in a weird way, the first 2 batters got out on a fly out and then a ground out, and then Luis Morales got on base on kind of a bloop single down the right field line, but then eventually got caught stealing. So we take you now to the bottom of the first. Well, Will Gray, the extra hitter for the Copperheads, is up first. The SCBO does a thing where they have the DH and the EH as the team elects to use the EH, allows guys to get more reps in, get more ABs, and this is what this summer baseball is really all about, is guys getting more ABs in. And Will Gray using full advantage of that EH tonight as he is up 3-0 in the count early. Will Gray is going to his junior year at West Virginia Institute of Tech as he works a 4-pitch walk, as you won't get on base much easier than that. As the pitcher tonight for the Regulators is Justin Wignott, as Wignott struggles early but looks to get back on track with the 2-hole hitter, J.D. Woodall. Woodall is playing center field tonight for the Copperheads. And we'll look to advance his man over there. Woodall going into his junior campaign at Davidson College, a 2-sport athlete at Davidson, a member of the football team and the baseball team, and that's pretty impressive for a guy to be able to play those 2 sports at a D1 level and also manage the classes that a student athlete has to manage, especially at a school like Davidson. 2-time preseason All-American by Rawlings Perfect Game out of high school too, so definitely knows how to play ball. As that one will miss outside, and Wignott's control struggles stay here early as he has thrown a ball on his first 6 pitches. Wignott the lefty, so it gives him a little bit of a better shot over there holding that runner at first, as he will get his first strike of the night right there. Behind the plate tonight for Wignott is Cody Spillman, as he had a nice frame on that outside fastball. Just a reminder, Will Gray, the extra hitter over there at first base. Isaiah Mack holding him on, that one low and inside. Let's take you around the Regulators infield. We have Anthony Bachia at third base, Luis Morales at short, Jacob Gilling at second, and Isaiah Mack at first. And like I said, Cody Spillman behind the plate. And let's take you to the outfield. Jorge Santana in left, Eric Sledge in center, and John Bagwell will be holding it down in right field. As that one is grounded to the shortstop. Flipped over to second base. Will they turn two? Yes, they will. A great 6-4-3 textbook double play by the Regulators Baseball Club, as Luis Morales to Jacob Gillingham and Isaiah Mack. Can't get much better than that, as J.D. Woodall put it on a silver platter for him right there to turn two. And that is much needed from Wignott right there. He's struggling with control early. Hopefully that double play can settle him down, as he's saying, hey, if I can put the ball in play, my guys can back me up and make some good defensive plays. But now maybe the best hitter out there tonight, Tyler Zadalis, is up to the plate, as he will take a off-speed slider right there for strike one, as that's a pitch Zadalis normally likes to have, but maybe expecting a first pitch fastball. Zadalis playing shortstop tonight for the Copperheads, and man, he had a heck of a game, first game of the year. 4 at-bats, and he had a 500 average in those 4 at-bats, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and 1 dinger, as Zadalis tore it up in his first SCBL game. He'll be going into his freshman campaign at South Carolina. South Carolina obviously still in the College World Series. Going into the Super Regional stage as Wignott makes quick work of Tyler Zadalis and sits down the Copperheads, as we will have a 0-0 ball game going into the top of the second. Stick with us here at a beautiful night at Coxmill High School. And we want to welcome you back here to Cox Mill High School. As we want to thank you for joining us tonight on your Tuesday summer afternoon, as that is a nice bullet on the outside part of the plate for strike one. So Quinn Bren had a nice first inning of play, got out the first two batters, and the second one got that bloop single, but eventually his catcher behind the plate, Hank Hinchman, backed him up and gunning him out at second base. Has the weird elbow angle right there when he's facing up against his catcher and the batter. Trying to hide that glove as Hinchman can't frame that one on the outside part of the plate. 83 degrees here right now in Concord, North Carolina. Can't get a better summer night for baseball than tonight. A little bit of a breeze, nothing too much though. 2-1 pitch, and that breaking ball slips in there, middle of the plate for a strike, and now even it up at 2-2. So if we take a look back at the last game for the Regulators Baseball Club, it was a 7-4 loss to the Owls. They went up 3-0 going into the 7th inning, but a 6-run 7th really messed them up, as that will be up the middle. Will they get there? And that will go out under the outstretched glove of Tyler Zadalix, for a single. So going back to the Regulators' last game, they were up 3-0 going into the 7th and allowed 6 in the 7th inning. Only Bagwell was the only hitter to have over one hit. But the offense not enough to beat the Statesville Owls, another new team to the SCBL. So now Jorge Santana, the left fielder, will be up with no outs in the inning as that one runs up and gets him almost. And the runner will advance to second base, as that's got to be scary for Santana. First pitch of the night, he sees him, rings his bell. But luckily he got out of the way and he is okay. And the runner advances to second base. Another thing the pitcher Brent has to keep an eye on. He gets a sign from Hinchman and will deliver the pitch. That one inside for a strike. And he gets back on track with 1-1. Infield shaded slightly to the left, as we see Connor Kiefer over there at second hugging that second base. And that one almost runs in and gets him again, as we see the pitcher Bren kind of having some troubles early with those left-handed batters. Count at 2-1, top of the second inning. Trying to keep that runner close over there at second. That one inside for a strike, and we'll even it up at 2-2. As we see Connor Kiefer just trying to hold that runner on over there at second with a good size of a lead. That will run inside and hit him. And the first two batters of the inning will be allowed on base for the Copperheads. So that makes things interesting, as we see Hank Hinchman maybe going out to say a word or two to his pitcher. And then returning behind the plate.
Now batting for the Regulators, the second baseman, number 4, Jacob Gilming.
So Jacob Gilming, the second baseman, number 4 for the Regulators, will step to the plate in a high-pressure situation early in the game. Runners on first and second, no outs in the inning, 0-0 ball game. First pitch of AB, trying to lay down a sacrifice squeeze, and that will stay fair. Hinchman flips it over to first base, and that's a bad throw in the second base. Slips as one runner will come in, and the next will stay at third base. That's just a careless throw from Hank Hinchman. Pulls off the first baseman from the bag, and will not get the first out of the inning right there on a sacrifice squeeze. And will allow two runners in scoring position with no outs still in the inning. As the umpire's having a word with the Regulators manager. So a good sacrifice squeeze right there, looking just to move the runners over, and then the throw from Hinchman took Brannell off the bag and allowed a runner to score, and then now 2 runners in scoring position. So that makes things interesting for this Copperheads ball club, trying to get out of the top of the second inning with minimal damage. Eric Sledge, the center fielder, will be due up next, the 9-hole hitter, and then 1, 2, 3 up after that. So those 2 runners have to go back to the original base, so only having 1 runner in scoring position, but still in a dangerous spot with no outs in the inning.
Now batting the catcher, Cody Spillman.
Oh, excuse me, Cody Spillman up, the catcher. And that one almost goes up and rings Spillman. As we're just seeing Bruin kind of have control issues, especially with the lefties, just pitching them really close inside. We'll see if Hinchman behind the plate maybe tries to frame his pitches more to the outside part of the plate to counteract that. The 1-0 pitch, and a nice breaking pitch right there, framed on the outside part of the plate. 1-1 count. After we've seen both catchers so far really have some nice frame jobs on either side of the plate, and just painted that outside corner. 1-1 pitch to Spillman. And another great breaking pitch right there, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we'll see if he tries to triple up on that slider. Let's take you around the Copperheads outfield and infield. Hank Hinchman behind the plate. Noah Jordan at third with Tyler Zadalis at short. His middle infield partner would be Connor Kiefer, and then Jack Brannell at first base. Going to the outfield, we'll have Connor Welker in left, J.D. Woodall in center, and then Cooper Kiefer out there in right. 2 sets of brothers on this Copperheads team. We have Connor and Cooper Kiefer, and then the Zadalis bros. 2-2 pitch, and that will run in and get him, as that is the second batter he's hit in the inning, and that will load the bases. So a high pressure situation for the 9-hole hitter Eric Sledge very early in this ball game, as you have to imagine if you're the Regulators, you want to get some couple runs in this inning to kind of pad your lead and have that to play with for the rest of this game. Sledge will dig into the left-hander's batter's box. The 0-0 pitch will go for a swinging strike. Bren gets his sign from Hinchman. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And now we'll run inside and jam him and try to turn 2 here. There's 1. Can he get 2? Yes, they can. And a great way to get out of a bases-loaded jam for the Copperheads. As they say, anything you can do, I can do better to the Regulators. They got a double play in the bottom of the first, and they say, well, we might as well get one in the top of the second. So a great way to get out of a jam for the Copperheads, only allowing 1 with bases loaded, 1 out. And we'll see if the Copperheads can even up this ball game or maybe get a lead here in the bottom of the second. Stick with us. As we want to welcome you back here to Cox Mill High School. A little bit of scoreboard update. It's 0-0 right now. We thought it was 1-0 to the Regulators, but apparently there must have been a interference call or something of that sort of rule that we must have missed up here in the press box, and that must have called somebody out that we missed. So that evens up the ball game. And that brings up Brock Donnelly, the DH tonight for the Copperheads, to the plate. 0-2 pitch. That one to the second baseman. Can he get there? No, he cannot. He was shaded very much to his right, and that slipped where normally he could be able to get it. As Jacob Gilliam just really close to that first base side. And that one up the middle just snuck past him. So that will bring up the big righty Jack Brannell to the plate.
Now batting the first baseman, number 40, Jack Brandel.
As Jack Brandel, 6'1", 300. So when he gets a hold of a baseball, he can really put one far. That one runs inside and almost gets him. He hit .333 for the Chargers last year. That's right, he's a Cox Mill product, one of many on this team, returning to his own old stomping grounds this summer with the Copperheads. Now that one will go for a ball. Brannell did not play in the opener for the Copperheads, so again, his first action of the summer right here. Donnelly over there at first, and a pickoff attempt will be no match. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Wignut. That one fouled over to the screen and foul. Two-one count, one runner on first base, no outs in the inning. That one inside and low for a ball. So Brandel getting up early in the count here. Spillman delivers the sign to Wignut. 3-1 pitch, and that'll be low for a ball. And the first two batters of the inning will get on base for the Copperheads. So two runners on base for the second baseman, Connor Kiefer. As Kiefer will try to make an impact early in this ball game.
Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Connor Kiefer.
Kiefer went 0 for 4 in the first contest, but had a run and a walk. And when he gets on base, he could be a threat on the base paths. Not much right now as he has those two guys in front of him, but if he can hit a bases clearing double or something of that sort, watch out. Kiefer, 5'9", 175, going into his junior campaign at Monroe Community College. As we have a 1-0 count to Kiefer. 1-0 pitch. Low into the dirt, and that will go to the backstop as both runners will advance into scoring position. As the Copperheads will look to have a dangerous second inning of their own. Let's take you around the SCBL and tell you about the scores last night. The Mooresville Spinners one-hit the Queen City Corn Dogs en route to a 12-0 thrashing. The Statesville Owls in their first game back in the SCBL take the 7-4 victory over the Regulators, as that one is in the dirt, and it'll be a 3-0 count. And then the Lake Norman Copperheads catch a 10-6 dub over the Concord A's. Let's tell you a little bit about that last game for the Copperheads. A 10-6 win over the A's. Like I said, 3 innings of 3 or more runs, so the big innings were very prevalent for the Copperheads, as that will be outside for ball 4, so some of Wignut's control issues coming back now. As we will load the bases and have a little shot at the mound. So going back to that last game, 3 innings of 3 or more runs, so the Copperheads looking like they might have a big inning right here, and that really is what helped them last game. They fell down 3-0 in the second inning, but decided to rally back, as it shows that either team tonight, if they fall down early, definitely have a chance to come back. The MVP of that game had to be Tyler Zadalis. 2 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 home run, and that's a way to make an impact on your Copperheads debut. And one thing we'll be really focusing on tonight is the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Last game, they had a combined 5 hits and 8 RBIs. So 8 of the 9 runs for the Copperheads last game came from that 3, 4, 5 trio. And Will Price, the product out of the Air Force, got the win for the Copperheads last game. And, of course, getting the night off tonight. Cheering his teammates on in the dugout and hoping to cheer more if they can get some bases clearing magic. As that will be a double play right there. That's a good hop to get that baseball from Isaiah Mack, and Jacob Gilliam will take that ball himself, but not before the Copperheads score their first run of the night. So both teams tonight opportunities to really capitalize on a bases loaded situation, but just haven't been able to. As that one will be to the second baseman, backhanded, trying to get over there to first, but cannot. So the Copperheads will jump to a 2-0 lead here in the second inning. As that was a tough backhand play right there for Jacob Gilliam. I say to backhand that, turn all his body over there to first base, and just couldn't make that clean transition from second base. And that allows the runner to get on. So now the third baseman, Noah Jordan, will try to work out some 2-out rally magic, as that one is fouled off into the screen. Jordan looking Wignut down in the eyes. 0-1 pitch. And that will get through second base once again. It's just some unfortunate luck for the Regulators here in this inning. And Jacob Gilliam, it's just kind of wrong place, wrong time. Seems like every ground ball that goes over there just slips past him. And it's not on the spot he just was 5 seconds ago. But Jordan will not be complaining that that ball got past him. So that means 2 runners on, 2 outs in the inning, 2 runs for the Copperheads in this inning, and we're in the second inning. So lots of 2s to go around. And the runners will try to advance, and they will get there standing. As a muff play right there from the catcher, Cody Spillman. Just can't make a clean transition from the pitch to the throwback to the pitcher. Here comes the pitch. That one low in the dirt, and a great block from Spillman as he makes up from that mistake the previous pitch, being able to block that up and make sure that runner on third base doesn't have a chance to get home. 2-0 pitch. And Wignut fires in a strike right there. And that's much needed, as it felt like Wignut's kind of had some control issues after getting back on track in the first inning, then kind of coming back off track here in the second. 1-1 pitch. That one in there for a strike, and Wignut only needs one more strike to sit down the batter and get back into the dugout. Here comes the pitch, and that one will be fouled off to the backstop. Cooper Zoner, the batter, 6'2", 215 out of Abilene Christian University. One of the many Division I guys this Copperheads team has this season. Got to give a lot of praise to Coach Noah Jarrett on recruiting all these guys into the Lake Norman area for the summer. As he will swing past that one right there, and Wignut gets out of a jam, but not before the Copperheads put up 2 in the inning and get a nice early lead. Stick with us here at Cox Mill High School as we will go into the top of the third. Welcome back here for the top of the third inning. Copperheads hold a 2-0 lead.
I was trying to get an answer about the first inning.
That one grounded to the third baseman. Turns, fires over to the first. And he gets some. A great play right there from Noah Jordan. Having to do a little 360 turn. Firing over to his first baseman, Jack Brannell, for the first out of the inning. As a pitcher, Quinn Brent has to be thanking his third baseman. So 1 out of the inning. And Brent is going to try to make quick work of this Regulators lineup. That went outside for a ball. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And that one runs in and almost gets him. As we've seen Bryn have some control issues, almost running and get a couple guys, and it has hit 1 or 2 batters so far tonight. Really trying to crowd that inside part of the plate. And if you can do that against, especially guys that are the opposite hand, if you can crowd that inside part of the plate for them and maybe try to slip in a backdoor slider for that strikeout pitch, it can be very effective. He tries to slip in a backdoor slider right there, but it'll get down the second baseline. And he will try to turn 2. As he will try to get down, but he will be in time. As a great hustle play right there. The throw from Cooper Kiefer out there on right was just not in time. And the tag from Tyler Zadalis did not get the runner. So a runner in scoring position early as the Regulators try to get some runs back in this game after falling behind 2-0. As it is Lucas Morales, the shortstop, up. Banchia over there at second base. Sticking close to that second base bag, as that will be high and inside for a ball. One 0 count, 1 out of the inning. Copperheads lead this contest 2-0. as he tries to work that slider once again. That's kind of been his money pitch tonight, but couldn't work it into the inside part of the plate right there. So Morales, the shortstop, and a hitter's count, 2-0. Kiefer trying to hold him over on there at second. Hinchman will throw down, but will not be in time as he throw from Hinchman threw Noah Jordan off the bag to his right and was just unable to apply the tag. Great job by Jordan right there stopping that ball, because if that ball's into the outfield, that's easily the Regulators' first run of the game. So we'll see if Luis Morales has the green light from the Regulators coaching staff right here. 3-0 pitch to Morales. And he won't need the green light. Oh, as that was slipping for a strike, actually. As we see, Bryn really trying to work that inside part of the plate. Kind of missed on those first three, and then painted it right there. So Bryn going to try to work back from 3-0 to get the second out of the inning. Got to be careful with that runner at third base. No pass balls, no wild pitches. And that's unfortunate for Bryn as that one goes low. And we'll have runners on the corners with 1 out in the inning. And that brings up Isaiah Mack for the second time tonight.
Now batting the first baseman, number 17, Isaiah Mack.
Mack takes a big, deep breath, steps into the box. As Mack definitely has the power to, but if he can put one into the outfield, you have to imagine that's going to score more. That's going to score Banshee over there at third base. We'll see if Morales is willing to run and test the arm of Hinchman, or Hinchman will just hold on to that ball. That went high and inside for a strike. As Mack not very happy with that call. Thought that really ran in on the hands for him. Gets the sign from Hinchman. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Morales stays put. We'll see if they try to turn another double play right there, and that gets under the glove of Tyler Zadalis. As a rare mistake right there from Zadalis. Looks like a double play ball right there, but couldn't field it cleanly. And the Regulators now get on the board for the first time tonight. Still with 2 runners on.
Now batting number 2, Dylan Ducharme.
So Dylan Ducharme digs into the lefty's batter's box. First pitch of the AB will be rolled to second base. Mack over there at second gets him. Can he get him? At first, no. So a fielder's choice right there. And once again, we'll have runners on the corners for the second time in the inning. So Jorge Santana, the left fielder.
Now batting the left fielder, number 10, Jorge Santana.
Gets into the box. Santana trying to tie this ball game up. As need to take a second off the mound right there as the runner at first kind of playing with the pitcher. Trying to take an extra long look at him at first base. Here comes the pitch. Inside for a ball. Bryn once again trying to run it inside on the batters. Gets the sign from Hinchman. Peeks over there at the runner at first. And goes in there for a strike. 1-1 count. To keep up with the SCBL on Instagram, make sure you're following SCBL Baseball. Great way to keep up with all the teams. Check up on all the scores and game day posts. And make sure you're informed. As that will be a bloop single to right field. And the run will be turning 3. The throw in there at third. And we'll get past them. But the runner at third will stay, but not before Jorge Santana advances to second. And we have a 2-2 ball game, ladies and So now both runners in scoring position as Henchman takes a second to have a quick conversation with his pitcher. So Jacob Gilling, the second baseman, digs in the lefty's batter's box. As Bren will take a breather, take a nice little walk around the mound and recoup his thoughts and try to get the final out of the inning. First pitch of the AB, high and inside for a ball. Steps back on the rubber as Henchman will give him the sign. 1-0 pitch. And that'll be low and outside for a ball. Bren just taking another big deep breath right there. Just trying to get a strike back right here, and that can really put him back into this at-bat. And that strike is what he will get right there, going back to his go-to slider. When he needs a pitch to really work for him, he's going to use that slider like he just did. Two-one count, 2 outs in the inning. 2-2 ball game. And a big swing and a miss right there as he goes back to the slider once again. And Bren fights back from 2-0 to 2-2. So lots of twos to go around. 2-2 ball game. 2-2 count. 2 outs and 2 runners on. And did he go? Yes, he did. And Bren gets out of that jam, but not before the Regulators say, hey, we'll take 2 back of our own and tie this ball game back up. We'll be back here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-2 ball game between the Lake Norman Copperheads and Regulators Baseball Club. Back here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. First up for the Copperheads is the E.H. Woolgray, so the Copperheads decide to get back to the top of the order here. 2 runs in the first 2 innings for Lake Norman. And not able to get up in the count 0-2, so it'll be 1-1. Gets the sign and delivers the 1-1 pitch. That one skied out there to right field. Tracking back on it is Bagwell, and he will be able to make the catch. Kind of a tough play for Bagwell, as it doesn't look like it, but those that you have to turn back and maybe only run 10 or 15 feet, it's kind of weird to twist your hips and get back there sometimes. But no problem for Bagwell. So J.D. Woodall, the center fielder, back up to the plate. That one goes in there for a strike, 1-0. Or excuse me, 0-1. 0-1 to Woodall. And Wignut will jump out in this count 0-2 early. As Woodall will have to fight from behind here. Wignut gets his sign and delivers the 0-2. Another breaking pitch from Wignut right there. Going back to what's worked in this at-bat, but Woodall spits on that foul. So Wignut will step back on the rubber, and we'll try the 0-2 once again. And that'll be strike 3 looking. As Justin Wignut feeling a lot more comfortable right here in the bottom of the third as he gets out the first 2 batters he faces versus a very tough top of the Copperheads order. Another man he sat down on strikes earlier in the ball game was Tyler Zadalis, as he will try to sit down Zadalis once again and make it a 1-2-3 inning. That one in the dirt for a ball. Zadalis, another one of those guys who played at Cox Mill, an absolute stud in high school, a 9.5 perfect game grade. And yes, that's out of 10, so hard to get much better than a 9.5 right there. Top 98th percentile in the nation in exit velo, so when he turns on a ball, even with these wood bats, he's going to make it go fast and make it go hard. One to Zadalis. Low and inside for a ball. Almost nicks him on the top of the shoe right there. Wignut digs back into the mound. Gets his sign from Hinchman. And that'll be in the dirt for a ball. 3-1 count. Waiting on deck for the Copperheads is Brooke Donnelly. Three-one count, 2 outs in the inning. 2-2 ball game. And that'll be a strike right there. Zadalis was ready to take a stroll to first base, but umpire said not so fast, and the count will run full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that'll be outside for a ball. Wignut try to slide a backdoor slider in right there on Zadalis, but just couldn't get the break he wanted on it to clip that outside part of the plate. So number 18, Brock Donnelly, will step to the plate.
The designated hitter, number 18, Brock Donnelly.
Donnelly going into a sophomore campaign at Queens. Queens, one of the newest teams to move up to Division I in that ASUN conference. First game of the season, he had 4 at-bats with a .500 average, 2 hits and 2 RBIs, and was massive in that big 3-4-5 lineup that really did great for the Copperheads, driving 8 of the 9 runs last game against the A's. Not only another one of those guys that is a local kid. He went to crosstown rivals Huff High School. 0-1 to him. Will take a heavy hack at it, but just can't slow down to the breaking stuff of Wignut. So we have a 0-2 count. Zadalis stands over there at first, and he is definitely a base running threat. And that one goes high. Donnelly saw that breaking stuff high in the zone and really wanted to turn on that one, but decided it's better to hold up, and a good decision as that was well above the zone. 1-2 pitch. That one grounded to the shortstop. Will try to turn and make a play at first, and he can. Great job right there from Luis Morales. Backhanding that ball, firing it over there to Isaiah Mack for the third out of the inning. And the Regulators shut out the Copperheads in the bottom of the third. We'll be going into the fourth inning. Stick with us for some more SCBL baseball action. Welcome back as Cody Spillman will lead off the inning for the Regulators, and we have a new pitcher into the game for the Copperheads. Blake Aldisher is that pitcher. Big number 33, standing 6'4", 235. So he started off his night with a strike, tried to back it up here with another one, and he will do just that. He'll be going to his freshman campaign at Bavard College. Another one of those guys who's a Cox Mill Charger and was pitching on this mound not too long ago in Cox Mill's high school campaign, as that one will be down the right field line, and another bloop single, as that is a second one tonight we've seen just like that, a bloop single down the right field line. And that will start off the inning very nicely for Spielman, and now Eric Sledge come up for the second time tonight.
Now batting the center fielder, number 21, Eric Sledge.
The three games around the SCBL we have tonight is the Concord A's visiting the Queen City Corn Dogs, and then the Mooresville Spinners will go very close to their closest rival, actually, in the Statesville Owls. That game also going on tonight in the SCBL. 0-1 count, one runner at second, or excuse me, at first. No outs in the inning. That one in the dirt for a ball. So Oshler coming in for relief for the Copperheads. As we see Quinn Bren go 3 innings of work. And that one goes in for a strike for Oshler. So Oshler gets the sign from Hinchman. And that will be skied into center field. Coming in on it is J.D. Woodall, and that will drop, trying to throw the runner out at second, but can't. So 2 bloop hits in the inning for the Regulators, but they're not complaining as they have 2 runners on. So 2 runners on, and now we are back to the top of the lineup for number 18, John Bagwell.
Now batting the right fielder, John Bagwell.
Bagwell already his 3rd plate appearance, and we're only in the top of the 4th. And with the Regulators only having 2 runs and already having their 1-hole guy up for the 3rd time tonight, that really shows how many guys they've left on base. Try not to leave these 2 guys left on base right now, as that'll be fouled off Hinchman and then to the backstop. As we see the first baseman, Jack Brannell, creeping in over there. As if you're a guy like Bagwell and you're batting in that 1 hole, you obviously have some speed, and especially playing right field, you got to be able to get on your horse sometimes and track down a fly ball. Oshler looks back at the runner at second and delivers the pitch. That one high for a ball. So 2-1 count. Oshler looks in, gets his sign, and delivers. And that will be swung down the third base line foul. And even up the count back in 2-2. Bagwell takes a deep breath, settles in to the righty's batter's box. Oshler shakes off 3 pitches now, and then gets the 4th, the one he likes the most. And will throw it, and that will get past the third baseman. And the runner will be staying at third, as obviously the Regulators respect the arm of Connor Welker out there on left, as Noah Jordan really laid out for that ball, but just couldn't get to it. So Oshler shaking off all those pitches, trying to get the slider. Thought he executed well enough, but that ball just sneaked past the outstretched glove of Jordan and will load the bases, so not the best way you want to start your night if you're Oshler. And especially when you have Anthony Bachia coming up next. There's a reason he's in that 2-hole. It's because he can put one in play. Oshler tries to go back to the slider right there, and it works a little bit better than the first time, as that goes for a strike. 1-0 count, bases loaded, still no outs in the inning. Oshler shakes off another one from Hinchman, but likes the second one. As that will be swung on and past the outstretched glove of the second baseman. 1 runner will coming in. The play at the plate. 2 runners will come in for the Regulators. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a 4-2 ball game here in the top of the 4th. As the Regulators, they really haven't had that many hard-hit balls in the inning. But it feels like every hit they've had was just kind of blooped in there or just got past the outstretched glove of an infielder. But at the end of the day, you don't look back at how many lucky hits you had. You look back at how many runs and how many actual hits you had. So the Copperheads coaching staff will have a little bit of a chat with Oshler. Whole infield coming in to discuss as well. As right now, you're really just trying to minimize the damage. No outs in the inning, already have allowed 2, and still have 2 more runners on base. So keep it manageable if you're Oshler. Keep your team in this ball game and within striking distance. Nobody warming up in that Lake Norman Copperheads bullpen as of right now, as they're still discussing there on the mound. So chat over. Fist bumps going all around, and trying to hype up their guy Oster, saying, hey, man, you got it. Just pitch your stuff, and that's good enough. So we'll see if that little pep talk from the team can calm him down and really start to get him going in this inning. As it's really not been the control that's been an issue. It's just kind of unfortunate timing with hits. And sometimes the luck of the draw just isn't on your side as a pitcher.
Now batting the shortstop, Luis Morales.
So Luis Morales, the shortstop up, and a chance to get some RBIs right here. First pitch of the AB to Morales. In the dirt, and great job blocking it up right there from Hinchman. As both catchers really tonight have had to work behind the plate and doing great jobs, the both of them. As you see, the infield is in, watching that sacrifice bunt opportunity. Looking to charge at that baseball if it does come to them. The slider right there will go for a strike and even up the count at ones. Almost a little bit of a throwing mistake right there from Hinchman. As we've already seen one tonight, that one that was the sacrifice bunt that landed right in front of him at the home base and then tried to throw it there to first and just kind of fluffed it. 1-1 pitch. Runs inside for a ball. Sun's starting to come down, a little bit of a sunset to our left outside of the camera view. You can kind of see it out there in left field. We're over there by the Cox Mill Chargers football field. Lights powering up. That one high and inside for a strike. And the count will go to 2-2. As we thank you for joining us on this broadcast tonight, and many more home games coming this summer, as we hope you choose to join us for the rest of those games. If you're watching on your phone, your iPad, maybe welcoming us to inside your living room on a TV. Any way you're watching the broadcast, we appreciate it. As you see a ball right there, and the count will run full. 3-2 pitch, and if you're Oshler, you really don't want to walk this batter and have bases loaded once again, as we've already seen that story in the inning, and it did not work out great for him. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss right there, and a big K from Oshler. Not only does he get that much-needed out, but those runners do not advance. So Luis Morales goes down,
Now batting the first
but
baseman,
Isaiah
number
Mack
17,
will not
Isaiah Mack.
try to have the same fate. Isaiah Mack, big deep breath. And digs into the box. Infielder still shaded in. Mack will watch that one go by for a ball. You gotta add an extra ball to it.
2 balls.
No, 1 ball. Just add. 1-0 count to Mack. Osler shakes off some more pitches and then gets the one that he wants. And that one will go foul. So Oshler, a big guy up there on the mound, 6'4", 235. And not a lot of guys are just naturally gifted with that frame, and you can definitely use it to your advantage as a pitcher. One is an intimidation factor to start off with, but 2, using that velo and that size to your advantage. Mack, no small guy himself, though, as he takes a nice hack at that one, but that low pitch got him. So Oshler, after the shaky start to the inning, will try to get back on track with 2 straight Ks. Only needs 1 more strike on Mack right here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Oshler, as he will decide to take a break and step off the mound, as he shook off a lot of pitches from Hinchman. As we've seen that a lot this inning. Maybe when they go back into the dugout, they might need to talk it over a little bit, get on the same page. Say, hey, you know, what kind of pitch do you want to throw in this situation? Because that one will get past him, and the runner will be coming home, and he will get there standing. So the Regulators extend their lead in the inning, and they will have a 3-run advantage. So the top of the 4th inning has been very fruitful to them so far, but still not done yet with a runner at third base. And now we'll run in and get the end of the bat as Mac just tried to check swing right there, and you know that's going to sting on the hands right there. Anytime it's hitting the end of the bat like that, you're definitely going to feel that one. You could have the best pair of Bruce Bolt batting gloves out there, and you're still going to feel that one. So not only does that really ring up his hands, it's also unfortunate because that's a foul ball. So here comes the 2-2 once again. That one skied out there to left field. And almost into foul territory as the runner will be coming home. Play at the plate. Can he get him? No, and a great slide right there. And the Regulators extend their lead to 4. It was a great throw by Cooper Kiefer, but just the speed of the runner was too much for Kiefer. So now we have a 6-2 ball game. It's like the first time in forever for Auschler that he's had no runners on base. Auschler steps back onto the mound. First pitch of the AB. That one low into the dirt for a ball. Here comes the pitch. Outside. Two-0 pitch. And that will ring out the outside corner for a strike. So the count will run to 2-1. Auschler also really liking that slider tonight. And does a great job painting the back door right there. That one lined up the middle for another single. As we've seen tonight really from the Regulators, they haven't had the long ball going or even doubles or triples. This has all been stringing together singles. As in today's baseball, especially when you see it in the major leagues, you don't see small ball very often, but the Regulators could write a textbook on it right now how well they're doing it tonight. So still 2 outs in the inning. 1 runner on first now after that single. Low into the dirt for a ball. Another great job from Hinchman blocking that one up. Osher looks for a sign, looks back at the runner. 1-0 pitch. In the dirt once more for a ball. Osler shaking off some more pitches. Finally gets the one he wants. And out the inside for a ball. So a 3-0 count now. No movement in that Copperheads bullpen. Something to look out for. Trying to save arms as well as believing in their guy out there on the mound. 3-0 pitch. And that'll be right down Broadway for a strike. Just trying a little bit of a get-back strike right there. Three 3-1 count. 2 outs in the inning. Low in the dirt, and that'll be ball 4. So another dangerous situation for the Regulators where they can extend their lead.
Now batting, Jacob Gilman.
So Jacob Gilman, the second baseman, up to the plate. First pitch is his at-bat. Will be a swinging strike first time tonight that he's seen Auschler. Lefty on lefty matchup right here. And that one skied into right field. And that will be the third out of the inning. So they get their 3 outs, but not before the Regulators decide to put up 4 of their own. And the Copperheads have some work to do. Coming back in just a minute with more SCBL baseball action. And welcome back here, bottom 4. Regulators up in this contest as Jack Brannell steps in the lefty's batter's box. Lefty on lefty matchup here as Wignut stays in the game. A nice fastball strike right there on the outside part of the plate. Wignut with a bit of a rocky start to start off with, was really settled into this ball game very nicely. Swinging strike right there from Brannell. A 1-2 pitch to Brannell. And outside for a ball. And Brannell wasn't able to do it in this count, but when Brannell can get up and counts early, 3-1, 2-0, 3-0, he could be a force to be reckoned with, because if you put one down the middle and Brannell turns on it, that baby's gone. As that one is blooped into center field. Tracking back on it is the shortstop, Luis Morales, and he will get the first out of the inning. Kind of a tricky one right there from Morales, just not trying to backpedal back, but turn those hips, get back to that baseball, and he does very nicely in doing that.
Now batting the second baseman, Connor Kiefer.
So now number 6, Connor Kiefer, steps back up to the plate. Third time tonight that he's faced Wignut. And he tries to tee off on the first pitch he sees in this AB, but too early on that slider and foul. One out count, 1 out of the inning. Wignut delivers the pitch. And that is a big league fly right there. And Luis Morales gets both outs in the inning, both on pop flies that he's had to turn back and get. And Wignut now making quick work of the Copperheads. So after Connor Kiefer goes down, number 11, Hank Hinchman, will have the duties of trying to get a 2-out rally right here.
Number 11, Hank Hinchman.
Hinchman digs in the righty's batter's box. And Wignut will deliver the first pitch of the AB. That one ground to the third baseman. Fired across the infield. Will he get him in time? Yes, he will. So Anthony Bachia connects with his first baseman, Isaiah Mack, for the third out of the inning, and Wignut sets down the Copperheads 1-2-3. Wignut making quick work of the Copperheads as of late, and Auschler will try to get back on track after a rocky 4-run first inning of his night. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back to the top of the fifth inning where we see Cody Spillman, the 8-hole hitter, digging for the Regulators. A swinging strike right there. Due up this inning is the 8-hole Cody Spillman, the 9-hole Eric Sledge, and then the leadoff man, John Bagwell. That one will be blooped into right. And can he get there? A great diving play from the second baseman, Connor Kiefer, and a tip of the cap from Auschler. As a pitcher, it's really nice anytime a guy can bail you out like that, kind of a weird bloop pop-up, tracking back and making a nice sliding play.
Now batting for the Regulators is center fielder number 21, Eric Sledge.
So Eric Sledge, the last man up until the Regulators' top of the order comes back up. First pitch of the day will be to Sledge. Fouled off into the backstop. For all you MLB fans, I bet you guys have seen Ellie De La Cruz got called up today, one of the hottest prospects in baseball for the Cincinnati Reds. Just got his first MLB hit tonight, and what else would Ellie De La Cruz do but get a 112-mile-per-hour laser off the bat and a double for his first MLB hit? And as a Reds fan myself, I was excited when I saw the news that he got called up, maybe an understatement, as De La Cruz is bound to be one of the best bright young stars in baseball. That one grounded Jordan over there at third and reaches out for that one, but just slips under the glove. It got some contact with the glove, but not enough to get into the webbing. As that'd have been hard to get Sledge anyway. Sledge already with enough speed out there in center field, and then you got to lay out for that baseball, get up and fire it over to first. That'd have been a Manny Machado-esque play if he could have pulled that one off. So back up to the top of the lineup. Bagwell will swing through that pitch for a strike. Bagwell back up to the plate tonight for the fourth time. One 0 pitch to Bagwell. That one will be lined to the first baseman, and that'll be an easy double play as Jack Brandel was on his toes right there at first, and nothing you can do if you're Sledge as you're stranded out to dry. So another double play for the Copperheads, second one tonight, and they make quick work of the Regulators in that inning, but still have some catching up to do, down by 4, going into the bottom half of this inning. Stick with us. Welcome back here as Noah Jordan steps into the righty's batter's box. As that will be lined up the middle. And a great play right there from the shortstop. As Luis Morales gets the first out of the inning. And Wignut really not trying to do too much tonight. Just trying to throw strikes in there, get that breaking stuff involved, have his defense have his back. And besides that blip in the second inning, that's just worked beautifully tonight. So after the ground out by Noah Jordan, his teammate Cooper Zoner will step up to the plate. That first pitch for a ball. And that one is being counted a ball. Wignut's not a guy that's going to bring a lot of velo to the table, but what he's going to bring in return is great breaking stuff and that touch. He can really paint the outside parts of the plate, and that really makes up for his lack of velo at times, and that one is a strike right there. You know, maybe a guy you're going to have to scoot up in the box against and get adjusted to the slower speeds than usual, but got to be ready for all that breaking stuff. That one in the dirt for a ball. And we'll have a 3-1 count. You can definitely feel a drop of weather here in Concord with the sun going down. Temperatures going down as well. That one out there to left field. Tracking in on it. And that will not be able to get reined in by the left fielder, Jorge Santana. As he made a good diving attempt right there. Could not get to it, but a good job just keeping that ball in front of him. Because if that ball rolls past him, that's an easy stand-up double.
Now batting number 2, Connor Walker.
So Connor Welker, the left fielder, and the 10-hole hitter. Something that you don't hear very often, a 10-hole hitter. But as I mentioned earlier with the extra hitter here in the SCB, I'll give the guys more reps. That 10-hole hitter is actually pretty common at times. Depending on the manager's choice, the Copperheads elected to use the EH, and the Regulators said, no, we're going to stick to the traditional 9 hitters. No one warming up in that Regulators pen, as that ball almost gets past Spillman, but keeps it in front of him, and the runner stays at first base. So it even shows you more with nobody warming up, just in case in that pin for the Regulators that they have a big faith in Wignut tonight to really be their guy to put him late into this ball game and keep him a shot with a great lead. That one in there for a strike, gets back in the count a little bit, 2-1. Try not to fall behind 3-0, especially you don't want to have 2 runners on and only 1 out of the inning. 2-1, 1 out. Here comes the pitch from Wignut. And that one will get past Spillman, and the runner advances to second base standing. So now, not only Wignut has to worry about that runner in scoring position, but he's also down in the count 3-1, so just can't throw a lollipop in there. If the hitter puts a single into the outfield, it's probably going to be a run, or even worse. As that one is deep into left field, tracking back on it is Santana. Toward the wall, to the track, and that will stay in the yard and be caught. Santana was running out of room very quickly over there at the wall. As that will actually be out 3 in the inning, as I think the runner went too early and did not tag up. And a simple tag on the runner will get him out. So the Copperheads just a silly mistake right there, and could have had a runner on third base with 2 outs, but not today. So the lead will stay to 4 for the Regulators, and Wignut goes another inning perfect. So we'll come back here at Cox Mill High School, 6-2 ball game in favor of the Regulators. Welcome back as the first pitch of the inning from Oshler will go in for a strike, and I am pleased to be joined by, never thought I would say this, but broadcast partner Palmer Hayes. A little bit of a tongue twister right there, and thanks for hopping on the call with me. I was getting kind of lonely out there for a second, calling it by myself all game.
Well, hello, Zane. Good to be on here.
So Oshler will step into the count 0-2 and try
Okay.
to put away the man right here. Excuse me. Go ahead.
1-2 count here.
Yep. So Oshler had a really rocky start, allowed 4 runs in that one inning, but settled in last inning. Sometimes it just takes a minute for guys to kind of get their rhythm going, calm their nerves down, and then go out there in the second inning and really perform.
Exactly, Zane. The pitch.
And that will be outside for Oshler. And that'll even up the count at 2-2. So Oshler will get the sign from his catcher Hank Hinchman, and that'll be outside once again, and that will walk the batter. As we had it a little bit mixed up on the balls right there, but all good.
Man on first to start the inning.
Something to be wary about if you're Oshler. Who's up?
Broken bat.
Oh, as we see some shrapnel on the field right there. They turn 1. Can they turn 2? No, they cannot.
Looks like it'll only be 1.
Yeah. Man, got to watch out. I know it's called the hot corner for a reason, but it's normally a baseball fly. Now, you're not a chunk of wood, huh?
Whew. Close one.
Yeah. You ever had that happen to you before playing in the infield, a chunk of bat flying at you when you're trying to field a ground ball?
Can't say I have before, no.
So, one man will be sat down on a fielder's choice.
Like,
Now batting number 17, Isaiah Mack.
And Isaiah Mack, the first baseman, will step to the plate. Oshler looks at the runner over there at first and delivers the pitch.
called strike 1.
Yep. We see that infield.
What's that?
We see that infield right there, shaded in double play position.
Yeah.
So Palmer, as a second baseman yourself, you know, what's the keys to turning a double play, especially in a double play position when you have a fast runner like Isaiah Mack at the plate?
Definitely closing lanes, charging in on the ball, making sure you get it out quickly. Receiving the ball, making sure you have a quick transfer over to first base as quick as possible to narrow down the distance for sure. Definitely tough with a faster runner on base, though.
Well, good chance to get a ground ball right here. 0-2 count, so some room to work with.
Fouled off.
As we see Isaiah Mack after that hack just kind of step out of the box for a second, just trying to get his swing right, make sure he's driving through the baseball right there. And that's very important for a batter, just to make sure you're keeping your hands through the baseball and really putting one in play.
Exactly. Fields are always free in the box.
So Oshler will look at the runner at first, and he will be going that one into center field, so the runner might have to get back, tracking back towards the wall.
Looks like it's gone.
And the big man Isaiah Mack puts one out deep center, and the Regulators get it out to a 8-2 lead. As Oshler was setting in there for a second, but Isaiah Mack said, "Not for long, thank you very much." And he takes it to the deepest part of the park. And now the Regulators have a 8-2 lead. And when you're a big guy like Isaiah Mack, it doesn't even really look like you're taking that big of a hack. It didn't even look like he got that much of the baseball, but it just took off, and it just kept floating and carrying, and that ball got out of there.
Very effortless swing there. The easy count there.
Well, and that's kind of the advantage when you're a big guy like that. A lot of those big guys don't even look like they're swinging that hard. They're just free-flowing in the box. And when they get good barrel on the baseball, who knows what's going to happen.
Taking ball outside for ball 1.
So we have a 1-0 count. 1 out of the inning after that 2-run jack right there from Isaiah Mack. Big hack right there.
1-1 count here. We're 1 down.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch.
Ball taken low.
Good eye right there. And sometimes as a batter, you see your teammate hit a home run, and you want to be extra antsy in the box. Say, hey, if my teammate can hit a home run off this guy, why can't I? And sometimes you get overzealous in the box, but good job staying back on these last couple of pitches, huh?
Exactly. Being yourself in the box is always big.
And do you notice that sometimes that when you see a guy, and you can obviously see that the control is off or the guy's struggling and kind of throwing in easy pitches and you're over antsy, you sometimes have to pull yourself back and say, hey, stick to myself, take a deep breath, and make sure I'm not trying to do too much in the box.
Yeah, you said it. Making sure you're staying yourself and you're being yourself in the box, not trying to do too much. Just putting the ball in play is big in these types of games when you're up big.
And that will be ball 4 right there. So Alsher will walk that batter. And Jorge Santana, the left fielder, made a really good play bottom half of the inning.
Number 10, Jorge Santana.
Where Jorge Santana was tracking back towards the wall. And as an outfielder, that can be kind of tough sometimes when you're tracking back toward the wall like that and kind of running out of room. But you got to be brave enough to stick in maybe with a hit with the wall. I don't know how to change the battery on this thing.
Strike taken inside. 1-1.
I don't know how to change the battery on this thing.
Pitcher gets a sign. The kick. Strike swinging. Looks like a breaking pitch.
I'm trying to figure it out, but
Strikeout swinging.
no, I think I'm just spinning the camera around in circles now.
Now batting, number 4, Jacob Gilman.
As that will get through right there past the shortstop. As now we have 2 runners on for the Regulators. As we're going to give it to you play-by-play style for a second as we're trying to figure out how to change this battery real quick. So just an update. 2 outs in the inning. 1 runner at second base. 1 runner at first. And that 8-2 score line still stands. First pitch to the AB. A backdoor slider right there, painting it high and away.
Beautiful night here.
And really can't ask for a better night of summer baseball, really, to start off the season. 0-1 pitch. Low
Ball
and
taken
outside
low.
for a ball, yeah. So we have a 2-1 count now, 2 outs in the inning. Those runners still stand at first and second. As we apologize for having to figure out that camera, we'll get it back in business as soon as we can. 2-1 pitch. That one outside for a ball. And it'll be 3-1. Three-one count, 2 outs in the inning. Alsher looks, gets his sign, and will deliver for a strike. Alsher keeps going back to those backdoor sliders, huh, Palmer?
Exactly. It's a big pitch. 2-2 count. If you're a pitcher, staying confident with your off speed, especially down in counts like those, is big. Runners moving.
And that will be ball 4 right there. So the bases will be loaded. And Alsher tries to get out of this jam as we do see some movement in that Copperheads bullpen, but you feel like with a when you're down like this, you just kind of want to keep your guy in, at least for the end of the inning, huh?
Exactly,
Now
keeping
batting
them going.
center fielder, number 21, Eric Slade.
Never want to burn too many pitchers on a game down so big like this one.
And Oshler will be out of the game, so we will let our new pitcher into the game, and we'll tell you a little bit about him when we come back and try to figure out this camera issue. So we'll be back in a second. So Lopez comes back in, and the first pitch that he comes back in on is a line out to shortstop. So stick with us as we're still trying to figure out the camera difficulties. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back as the camera's still acting up on us, so we apologize for that. As that is a big fly out there to right, but will stay in the yard. And it will be gathered in by the outfielder for out one.
Now batting, number 8, J.D. Woodall.
Number 8 steps in with the fresh count. Fouled off back. Pitched low for a ball.
So we have a 1-1 count now. 1 out of the inning with that fly ball. One pitch. That one is outside and low for a ball. Three-one count, 1 out of the inning. As Wignut still on the mound for the Regulators. And a good eye right there. And one runner will get on. Regulators bullpen still no movement. So keeping faith in their guy Wignut and also keeping that nice 6-run lead.
Now batting the shortstop, number 17, Tyler Zadalis.
So Tyler Zadalis, and an opportunity to get an RBI right here. Off the back of a couple RBIs last night. First pitch he sees against Wignut in this AB will be outside for a ball. So Tyler Zadalis at the plate and J.D. Woodall over there at first after Will Gray was the first out of the inning. Wignut takes a look at the runner at first and will deliver the pitch for a strike. Wignut gets the sign and delivers the pitch. That one high for a ball. So Wignut will dig back into the rubber. He gets set and deliver. That one low and get past the catcher as we see Woodall advance to second base. So Tyler Sedalis now has something to play with, a runner in scoring position and a favorable hitter's count. As now we see somebody running out to that Regulators bullpen. Something to look out for. And that will be a balk right there from Wignut. So a costly mistake will advance the runner over. He's already down to the count 3-1, excuse me. And now that runner goes over. And Palmer just a balk, a mistake that kind of happens to a pitcher every once in a while, but something you never want to see.
Yeah, as a coach, it's a freebie. You never want to see it, but I mean, it happens to the best of us.
As that will be fouled off, and the count will run full. And what do coaches do in practice to make sure that that's not going to happen in the real game?
Staying settled, under control in all aspects of the game, no matter the situation. Keeping cool as a pitcher is big, and balks mainly are a result of pitchers tensing up in big situations like that, and just remaining cool under pressure is big.
Well, Wignut remained cool under pressure right there as he got a strikeout and now 2 outs in the inning.
Now batting the DH, number 18, Brock Donnelly.
So Brock Donnelly, number 18, up to the plate, 2 outs in the inning. As thanks to our technical crew here in the press box, we got the camera running back up. As that'll be ground to the first baseman, he lays out for it, but it will sneak into the outfield, and the Copperheads get 1 run back in this game. Haven't scored since the bottom of the second inning, but maybe a late game comeback coming here. So bottom 7, 8-3 ball game, 2 outs and 1 runner at first base. And Palmer, you know what has gotten the Regulators to this advantage so far is just stringing together hits. They haven't really been doing it by the long ball besides that one big jack into center field by Isaiah Mack. So do you think it's easier to string together singles and doubles to come back in a game, or do you think it's easier to try to get the big boy hits?
I mean, that's a great question. It really depends on the team. The buildup of the team's big. If you have a bunch of smaller hitters, it's big for small out hits, bunts, anything to get guys on. But you know, when you have bigger 3, 4, 5, even 6 guys who can hit the long ball consistently, it's big. It really just depends on the buildup of the team and how it's put together.
Well, we definitely see the Regulators just trying to, you know, go single at a time, the small ball approach, and it's worked out pretty well, putting up 8 runs in this ball game. And hopefully you're going to think that the Copperheads are going to try to take a page out of their book and try to come back and get some runs here. As now we see the Regulators pitching staff coming out to have a word with Wignut, and that might be the end of his night. You have this 5-run advantage, but you don't want the 5-run advantage to be cut to 4, and then 4 cut to 3, and then you got a baseball game on your hands.
Exactly. Keeping it a ball game is tough for sure.
So have a little conversation on the mound. As we did see someone run out to that Regulators bullpen, and they're not out there anymore. So that's something to look at after, but they're going to keep their guy in. Wignut's been doing a mighty fine job tonight, only allowing 3 runs through 6 2/3. And, you know, I think you have to imagine the thought of the coaching staff here is, hey, this guy's already got a 6 2/3. Let's just try to get him one more batter and then just call it a night for him. One pitch from Wignut. That one high. And you know as well as I do, if you're the pitcher out there and the coach comes out to the mound and say, hey, son, you want to stay in the game? Everyone's going to say yes, because you have to feel the responsibility that, hey, you're going to be the guy that get that batter out. That one dotted on the outside part of the plate for a strike. And in that scenario, as a manager, you have to dance a fine line of trusting your pitcher out there and saying, hey, if I'm good, then he's good, or saying, hey, you got to come out, man, and it's best for the team. That one skied into center, and will be come in and caught by the Regulators center fielder, that being Eric Sledge tonight. So the Copperheads get one back, but they still got some work to do. Down 5 in this ball game as we go into the 8th inning. Stick with us for some more SCBL baseball. Top of the 8th inning here in Concord, North Carolina, as the Regulators hold an 8-3 lead over the Lake Norman Copperheads. And a swinging strike right there, as it's approaching on at 9 o'clock local time here. One-0 pitch from Lopez. That one will sneak in the gap between the third baseman and the shortstop. And a great way to start the inning for the Regulators. So Jack Lopez, another one of those guys who was a Cox Mill Charger. Last game at the plate, he had 5 at-bats, had 1 hit and 1 RBI. But you got to imagine if you're, the amount of Cox Mill guys on this team has, 7 or 8 of them. It's great to see all those guys again, your high school buddies, and playing ball with them once again. Because after you graduate high school, you never imagine that you're going to be playing, baseball with a bunch of your guys from your high school ever again. But here's a great opportunity to do so.
For sure. That's something that many people don't get to experience after they graduate, and these memories should be cherished.
Especially for a school as good as Cox Mill is at baseball year in and year out. They're always producing a lot of great talent, whether it be D1, D2, JUCO, any of that.
Always the top school around here, for sure.
And now it'll be a pop fly to the second baseman. And he will double up the runner as he was trying to go steal. But unfortunate if that was a pop fly and got him thrown out at second. Yeah, Cox Mill always a top school, but fell to our Lake Norman Charter Knights this year, which was kind of a surprise upset, huh?
Exactly. I saw the score. I was really surprised. Lake Norman Charter had 13 seniors this year. I think that upperclassman knowledge for sure came into play.
Yeah, 13 seniors and then the leader of those 13 seniors was NC State commit Jacob Doden, which anytime he was on the mound for the Knights, you knew they had a shot to win. Didn't matter who they were playing.
Exactly. He was lights out all year. 1.9 ERA and earned an all-conference spot.
And that bat is flying. Better watch out if you're sending foul territory over there. That flew so far, that even hit the netting. And that's actually pretty impressive. That's kind of a strongman contest to throw that bat that far. I kind of wish we had like a GoPro on the bat to see that thing.
You rarely see that.
So we've had a flying bat over there to third base, split in half, and then we've had that wasn't even a flying bat. That was like a flying saucer over there.
Oof.
UFO going across the infield. A big hack right there as some new lumber after he didn't like his first bat, threw it across the infield and try to get a second one. Oh, 2 count. That one a little pop flying between the second baseman and right fielder. But that's no worries for the Copperheads right fielder Cooper Kiefer. And Lopez sits down the Regulators 1-2-3. Copperheads have some work to do. Only 6 outs left and 5 runs having to get to tie this ball game up. Welcome back here as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. As we have a new pitcher into the game for the Regulators as we're trying to get sorted out who that is.
Oh, my bad.
That one lined down the third baseline, and that will be fair. Left fielder trying to get that ball in the corner. And it'll be a stand-up double, as that's one way to try to lead a comeback right there. A nice little stand-up double to start the inning. Only 6 outs left, but definitely very attainable here. And like you said, Palmer, when you're down by 5, if you hit a home run, you're not going to be the guy to win the game. You just got to get on base and give your teammates a shot to drive you in and inevitably try to win this game.
String together hits, walks, anything you can to get on base, anything to help your team get runs back is just the key in these situations.
That one high and inside for a ball. And it's something that you brought up to me earlier that I thought was interesting, and it was a tweet that you saw that was saying if you don't advance a runner or you don't score a runner in an at-bat, it's not a successful at-bat. What do you think about that take?
Exactly. That's an interesting take. I mean, there's so many different angles that you could look at that from. In my eyes, I mean, moving up a runner's big, but also knowing yourself, putting the ball in play in big counts. But you can look at it both ways, individually or team wise. But definitely putting the ball in play for your team is huge, and I think that dictates part of where you see the good at bat.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because, you know, it just kind of depends if it's a good team at bat or a good personal at bat, and kind of what you take away from that as a coach or a player.
For sure. I think you could place it in two different categories as well, as more of a personal and as a team. Both are very big and key situations, though.
As we see a strikeout right there for the first out of the inning. So after the double by Connor Kiefer, and he moves up to third, Hank Hintzman strikes out, and now third baseman Noah Jordan will try to drive his teammate in. And with every out, the weight on the batter's shoulder just gets a little more heavier, huh?
Exactly. The outs keep on going down.
As we'll see him take that one like a champ. If you're going to want to take anything, it's going to be that slider, huh?
Exactly. You don't want to take the fastball.
No one does. But sometimes right in the square of the back, like the lower square of the back, that sometimes it hurts the most because it's like, oh, man, that's where it gets you, huh?
Yup.
So Noah Jordan wears that slider on the back of his back. And now Cooper Zoner will try to drive that run in at third. So runners on the corner, 1-0 count, 1 out in the inning. Copperheads trail in this one 8-3. As guess what? If one guy can wear it like a champ, why can't two? As we see some control issues right here from this new Regulators pitcher, as I think the umpire's going to come out and toss that ball to him, and maybe the manager, oh no, he's just tossing the ball to the catcher. And that was definitely not a slider right there, huh?
That was the heater that you were talking about.
Yep. Well, one man's misfortune is another man's fortune, as Connor Welker now steps up to the plate in a bases-loaded scenario. And if you can cut this lead to maybe a 6-8 ball game, get 3 in this inning, which is very attainable. I think clearing the bases, as one runner will come home. Talking about clearing the bases, that's one way to do it. Get one of the runs in. And now the Copperheads are only trailing by 4. And as I was saying, Palmer, so now let's look at it now. It's a 4-run ball game, 2 runners in scoring position. If you can make this a 6-8 ball game going into the bottom of the ninth, I mean, anything can happen. A single, and then you get a hold of one, and we got extra innings.
It'd be huge, for sure. Just knowing your role as a team, in the team, is huge. Just stringing together big hits in these innings are key.
That will be swung on for a strike. We got a 1-1 count. Yeah, because as I was saying earlier, you know, you being the home run, a 3-run home run would be great here. But at the end of the day, as long as you get a single, that's going to be big for the team. And as an outfielder right now, you got to be on your toes, because anything in the outfield, you know that guy at third base is probably running, and you're going to want to show off that cannon you got out there.
Especially down the lines.
So the Regulators in trouble of allowing another man on base with a very favorable 3-1 hitters count. Here comes the pitch. That'll be smacked to the shortstop. He will scoop it, trying to fire it over there at first. And he is safe. So a great effort right there from Luis Morales, trying to fire it over there to first, but just the speed of the runner, Connor Welker, was too much for him. And ladies and gentlemen, the Copperheads get another run on the board, and we have an 8-5 ball game. And I mean, as a middle infielder yourself, you know sometimes a ball is just, you know, just hit not hard enough, or you can get that guy at first, and the speed of the runner is just too much. And now we have a bomb out to left field. That ball is deep. That ball is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, we have each other a ball game. As that was a jack from Will Gray right there, as the extra hitter does some extra damage. And we have an 8-8 ball game. As the dugout clears, And why wouldn't you? As you were down big going into the inning, and now we got a big-time game.
Can you help me?
As we're trying to get the actual scoreboard in real life figured out, sorry about that. Glad we got the one of the broadcast right. And man, that was a jack right there. Turned on that baseball, and baby, that one was gone as soon as it left the bat. So we will have a discussion at the mound, and we'll be back in a second. And welcome back in here to the press box with us, Zane Metz, alongside Palmer Hayes. Glad to be joined by my new commentating partner and scoreboard operator, a man of many talents.
Exactly. Glad to be here.
So we have an 8-8 game. Copperheads coming into this inning, what? They were down 5 runs, and they said, you know what? We don't care about that. Let's just tie this ball game up and make it interesting.
Those were the big hits that you were talking about.
It doesn't get any much bigger than a 3-run home run, huh?
Nope.
And a good chance to tee off on another one right here. We have a 3-0 count and make that 3-1. And that one barely over the screen and foul. And that Copperheads dugout, I bet it's jumping. And that Regulators dugout, it's got to feel like kind of defeated. 3-2 count. And that one will be popped to second base. Oh, and he muffs it. And the runner will be safe. So it looks like a routine play right there for the second baseman, Jacob Gilliam, excuse me, and just muffs it right there. And do you ever notice that sometimes as a middle infielder might be a little fly ball like that or a ground ball, and you just take it kind of too easily and it just kind of catches up on you?
Exactly. Making sure that you're in front of the ball is key. With that, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. It looked like he got way too ahead of himself and just misplayed the ball going up the middle.
So now we have number 17, Tyler Zadalis, up to the plate. So, Palmer, let's look at both dugouts right here, okay? Let's look first at the Regulators. You're up 8-3 going into the inning, feeling good about tonight, trying to get your first win of the season, and then a 5-run inning happens. What's kind of your mindset as we see that one line down the left field line, and Tyler Zadalis shows why he's batting to the 3-hole. One runner around second, one runner around third, and they will be held as both runners in scoring position. And Tyler Zadalis says thank you very much and welcome back to Cox Mill High School. As a big double right there. And the Copperheads, they said, we don't want to tie this thing. We want to be winning this game.
Exactly. Big hits, big hits.
So like I was saying before, Tyler Zadalis abruptly interrupted me with that double right there. So if you're the Regulators, going into the inning, 8-3, what's your mindset going in? How do you stay focused and say, hey, we just got to get some runs and start winning this game again?
I think making sure you're not getting too ahead of yourself and keeping it in your mind like it's a tie ball game is big. I think they got way too ahead of themselves. I think they got a little cocky, and they paid for it.
And now let's look at the Copperheads dugout, okay? All the guys are amped up, wanting to hit up there. But you got to stay calm because even though you're amped up and saying, hey, this pitcher is very hittable, you got to stay calm and make sure you just do your job up there and actually get that lead.
Exactly. There's a big situation here. Hopefully you can come through.
As the big lefty takes that one inside for a ball. And talk about a guy with power, huh? If this guy gets a hold of one, who knows where it's going. It might be going out to Cornelius or Harrisonburg somewhere. So runners on first and second. One out in the inning. As we were mentioning, 8-8 ball game. Healthy hack right there. And that'll be strike 2, foul tip into the catcher's mitt. This summer night has faded into darkness under the bright lights here at Cox Mill. And this game has not disappointed so far tonight. And that will be ball 4. And that will walk in a run. And that's actually the game as we were only playing 7 runs right there. So a walk-off walk for the Copperheads. And they get a win here in their first home game of the season. So a 8-9 win. And, man, what a comeback right there if you're the Copperheads, huh?
Big win.
Got 3 outs to play with. And then you go in and do that right there. And an 8-9 win. And just how much of a big morale boost is right there for the Copperheads.
Going into big games, upcoming games, like I said, it's going to be big confidence-wise, just knowing that they had that big win.
Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It was a beautiful night for baseball, and if you tuned in for the whole game, you were surely not disappointed. Go out to your local SCBL game tomorrow night. We got the Copperheads will be going on the road to the Mooresville Spinners. The Statesville Owls will be hosting the Concord Athletics, and the Regulators will go back-to-back on the road as they go down to Charlotte to face the Queen City Corn Dogs. The next time you can catch a Copperheads home game will be Friday night as they will host the Concord A's right here at Cox Mill High School, and you'll be able to catch that game live on the SCBL YouTube channel. So we want to thank everybody who tuned in, and a big thank you from me, Zane Metz, and Palmer Hayes, my broadcast partner, as we hope you have a beautiful rest of your summer night, and we hope to see you Friday night